And hello, everyone. Welcome to the Battlefront Livestream podcast. I am your host, Nathan P. Butler. You can find my Star Wars Timeline Gold, the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere at StarWarsFanWorks.com/timeline. You can find the podcast I'm involved with, Cloud City Casino, and Star Wars Beyond the Films over at StarWarsReport.com. And, of course, on this channel, you can find stuff like From the Star Wars Home Video Library, my vlog, known as The Voice of Reason or Lack Thereof, and so on and so on. This is odd. I'm seeing the Battlefront attract mode screen, and it's the lightsaber just floating across, and it reminds me of the rumors about the opening of The Force Awakens, except it's the wrong lightsaber. I have with me this time my partner in crime, the man actually in charge of Cloud City Casino, as I am along for the ride as co-host or whatever. We had this conversation last time. Mr. Michael Morris, or Morris Heisley. Hello, Michael.
What's going on? And of course you can find me over at Cloud City or Brazzers.com.
He made that joke last time. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. I asked him about it after the show, and I'm like, oh, damn. At some point, that joke is going to wind up getting back to the head of Star Wars Report, or heads of Star Wars Report, Riley, Bethany, and Mark. It'll be a 2-to-1 decision to slap you. But that's okay.
Yeah, fortunately, Bethany will be the one sticking up for me.
That's okay. Well, she's out of the country now. She's traveling abroad, which is awesome, by the way. The fact that she's traveling abroad in a place that speaks Russian, I'm like, yeah, because that's one of the few foreign languages I've ever studied. So at least I know there's somebody else who might speak a little bit of it. Okay, I have chosen to pick a partner, and Pikachu, I chose you. And you haven't said nothing. There you go. Partner invite sent again.
There we go.
There you go.
So now, is that sexist, though? Would you be saying she's traveling abroad if she was a man?
No, I didn't say she's abroad traveling. I said she's traveling abroad. In English, the order of words, the syntax actually matters. Now, interestingly, not as much in Russian, because Russian is more of a me, Tarzan, you, Jane kind of thing. There's not a lot of, for instance, not a lot of linking verbs. It's a really interesting language, but I love the Russian language, especially trying to write it. Now that I've written the Russian language in cursive for a class in college back in like 2002 or before, I can't write in cursive in English worth a crap because I keep doing my letters the Russian way, and it's all wrong. They have screwed me up. Mm-hmm. All right, so I've got a new HUT contract. My new HUT contract is Slug Thrower Dos, or Dva, since we're talking Russian. 3 Shock Blaster Streaks, 30 kills with a Scattergun, and 15 enemies with any Shock Blaster, which I think is basically what that 3 Shock Blaster Streaks would get me if I managed to pull it off. We have some folks here. We have Lego Lover hopping in. Says it makes this day off of school even better to see there's a stream. Awesome. Day off school is nice. We're basically on what amounts to my lunch break right now. Most of my students are done, and the ones that are left, for the most part, are finishing outside of school. So today is, pardon me, today is basically paperwork. I'm taking my lunch break and not actually eating lunch and jumping on a stream. And hello to you also, Cypher. Good to see you back. All right, so I don't really care about modes here as long as it's not Fighter Squadron, because that won't work for me. I still want to know why it keeps telling me I've got one thing. You need some what? Extraction? You need an extraction? It's the old joke about how many perverts does it take to screw in a light bulb? 1, but it takes the whole emergency room to get it back out. Is that what you're getting at?
Oh my God!
No,
no. It's more like how many hamsters does it take to screw in a light bulb? Just
Lemmy
2,
winks.
but you got to get them in there first.
My Lemmy winks. Anyway, all right. Bad South Park joke. Okay, so extraction it is. There you go, and I've clicked it. It should be pulling you in there with me. In theory, there you go. But yeah, so we were talking here. I'm curious how I've heard a lot of good things. Cypher mentions that he's playing Rocket League at the moment, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I haven't actually tried it. For those who weren't watching the stream last time, by the way, my plans going forward is that probably once our move is done, once I finish Uncharted 4, and once I probably replay Golden Abyss on the Vita, I am going to be doing a series of live stream Let's Play type things of all 4 of the Uncharted console games on PS4. And they won't have lag because they're not online. So we won't be dealing with me complaining about lag all the time. Alrighty.
Nate?
Yeah. Hello?
I don't know if this is going on in the live stream or if it's just with me, but you were cutting in and out pretty bad. So if somebody in the live stream can kind of let us know if that's happening there.
No,
If it's just happening on me, it's no big deal. But
I'm getting the bad connection, slow connection stuff a lot, and I'm hooked up with a LAN cable right next to me. Well, we'll see. Be interesting if the guys outside going wind up, slicing a cable or something. Although, interestingly, I like the challenge, the daily challenge for today. Complete a match. I think we'll be able to do that. I think complete a match is a pretty easy challenge. In fact, I'm not sure why they call it a challenge.
Well, because complete a game was such a challenge for them.
Oh! I did find, speaking of completing anything, last night I finally got my player rating up enough on Star Wars Uprising that I finally took on Commander Bragg, the leader of the Purge Troopers, at the end of the second arc, and killed him. So I'm done with Act 2 finally. Although now the post Act 2 thing that you got to do is you have to kill, or sorry, not kill. You have to go through 100 assault missions as the next step. 100 assault missions. When you can do like 5 a day, right? So they're sucking up about a month of your time. Oh! I thought I was gonna be able to just jump and get him. I jumped over this guy's head with my shock blaster and I missed.
When used like that, I'm really really missing the game and wishing it had stopped.
Yep. Alrighty. So whee! I'm trying to remember what it was. It was scatter gun and shock blaster, I think was what I got to do. So I was thinking about just kind of one of the things that we talked about on the last episode that actually I guess is being released today, right? Of Cloud City Casino?
No.
No. In theory, around today.
Yeah, it should. It hopefully will come out tomorrow. I don't know. I've got so much stacked up right now, so we're an episode behind. I do have one coming out today. I was working on it, basically finishing up the outro portion for editing, and then I'll have it out here probably within an hour after we finish this.
Oh, cool.
And then, hopefully tomorrow or the next day I will get the other episode out.
Cool. And hello, Robin.
But I guess you're talking about the discussion about the macro transactions.
Well, that we haven't quite done yet. The macro transactions we haven't recorded yet. I was I was thinking more in terms of I was thinking much more selfishly right then. I was thinking of the anniversary yesterday, which I didn't mention on the stream. I did a stream yesterday, and I completely failed to mention. Yesterday was my 14th anniversary as a Star Wars podcaster, and I felt like that was sort of that falls under the old man voice opportunity, like the when I was your age, when I started podcasting, we didn't call it that. We called it an internet radio show. We didn't have no fancy iTunes. You had to go to the website and download it. And we liked it. And we had 100 subscribers, and we were like, holy shit, I'm Disney. We liked it.
No,
come a long way.
You've been podcasting. You said you've been podcasting for 14 years, but the Forcecast was the first Star Wars podcast, and it's
don't even start that. Don't even start. See, that's why I put out that vlog that tried to explain that for those who have concerns about that. Yes, the Forcecast was definitely not the first. It was also not the first from theforce.net. They had the Force.net podcast prior to that, and Digital Llama Radio had been hosted there, as had the parodies from Stormtrooper Bob, which was on Jedi Talk. The original Star Wars podcast was Jedi Talk in 1999, followed by the French version of Star Wars on Direct in 2000. This was 2001. There's the German Star Wars The Cantina around the same time. You had 2001's Digital Llama Radio by Chris Handel, Steve Phelan, Abe Paterka, and Justin Whitlock, and then Becca Paterka. And then you had My Chrono Radio in 2002. And I think the next one after that was Requiem of the Outcast in 2003, followed by Star Wars and Beyond, Robbie Chastain's. So, yeah, not so much. No, not the first. Not even close to the first. But, as I pointed out in that one, to give due credit, because of the visibility of theforce.net, particularly at the time, I'm not sure how many people still visit these days. I haven't been there in many, many years, probably. But I will say that they brought a visibility to Star Wars podcasts that got a lot of people into listening to the genre who perhaps wouldn't have otherwise. I should have just fired twice. I keep thinking of the Shock Blaster as fire once and reload, not fire multiple times and then, reload, recharge, or whatever, because I'm treating it like it's a one-shot shotgun, which it's not. With this stupid. I should probably bother to... Oh, good, a disruptor rifle that I never use. I'm just going to shoot it down there. Okay, good.
Very, very bad.
Hit the ceiling.
I'm having to use heavy blasters right now. I'm not very good with heavy blasters.
No? I love the heavy blasters. I actually went through on the stream yesterday and cycled through all the different weapons, or at least all the different blasters as opposed to star cards by the time it was over, and kind of showed off the feel. I actually really like the heavy blasters because I tend to like auto rifles on games like Destiny. So, the whole spray, not spray and pray so much as spray and just use enough shots. Son of a whore! Use enough shots that you're going to be able to take care of the enemy at some point.
Damn.
All right. Let's try not to suck. I'd say you guys realize that's a guy in front of me just like running, and there's a stormtrooper right in front of him. He's just running behind him. I'm a Ginja Ninja. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but congratulations on the rhyming username.
I also have 0 kills, but yet somehow I'm higher than you. Playing that one.
Cocaine, you're higher than me.
Yeah, but like I'm ranked higher than you right now with 0 kills.
Because I keep getting killed because I'm barely paying attention, and I keep trying to get closer than I probably need to for the Shock Blaster. I just suck. Like all my, it's not that my.
I also have 3 more deaths than you.
Oh, see, it's not that I'm very good most of the time, but I think I go to crap, especially when I start trying to use a Shock Blaster because my gameplay doesn't entirely fit the style that I'm going for. And hello, Lego fan. And goodbye, Cypher. He's heading out. So the the macro transactions. I think you and I are going to be able to have a heated discussion, not a heated, but an in-depth, interesting discussion on this on the show when we record tomorrow for next week's record Thursday for next week's episode, because I got to be honest, I don't think that we see eye to eye on this one.
Oh, really?
On the whole issue. What he's talking about is something that I brought up yesterday on the live stream, folks, which is what's it called? The Ultimate Upgrade Pack.
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically...
The FU pack is...
Why is it... That didn't hurt him at all, did it? Basically what you do is it's apparently been available since like March from what I saw, but I had never heard of it. But it's listed as a March inception date, or whatever you want to call it. But the idea is, I guess I should possibly try to get over to the thingy so that I can maybe partially play the objective and maybe start it up. Son of a whore.
Yeah, problem
Got killed by a scattergun. Yeah, there's a lot of dudes over there. But basically you pay $20, and no matter where you are in the game, it unlocks any blasters that you haven't already unlocked. At least as far as the original game goes. It does not appear to affect HUT contract guns of any kind. Son of a... The scattergun thing is just... Or shock blast thing is just not working for me.
So somehow or other I got shot with my personal shield on. How does that shit work?
What was it? What was the weapon?
I think it was a turret, or a one of those infantry turrets.
Oh, that I don't know. Oh, damn. That I don't know. Okay, I'll give Louis LLD props for that one. He shot me while he was way up in the air. But yeah, so the idea is that you pay your $20 and you get access to any other... Yeah, I suck. And access to any other blasters that you haven't unlocked yet, from the original game at least. And then the same thing for any star cards that you haven't already unlocked. And when it unlocks the star cards for you, all of them are upgraded versions. So you don't have to pay the extra like 7,000 credits or whatever it is to actually upgrade them. Which is pretty... That's pretty extreme, but I think it's pretty extreme both in terms of what it does for someone who's just starting out, but also in terms of the price. And I know you are very vehement about this.
It's bullshit. It's total bullshit.
Yeah. Okay, so riff away, and I'll provide some thoughts along the way, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on this before I delve into my thoughts. Hey, look, I finished the daily challenge. I completed a match. Awesome. So you still got to do extraction, right?
Yeah, so we need to get out of this.
No, I mean, just what... Oh, yeah, this is blasted. We'll jump out to extraction. Okay, so, yes, go ahead. I'll get us into an extraction match.
So, the main part is... This is... I mean, I guess it's like you joked. Oh, it's a macro transaction. But, realistically, this falls under microtransactions. It goes against exactly what they said they would not do.
Which was?
Which was that they would not do, I'd have to look at their exact terminology and everything, but they pretty much said, we're not going to have in-game microtransactions where basically you pay for weapons. That's what this is.
Is it, though?
Paying real money. Yeah, it's paying real money for the weapons, which is bullshit. You're paying for progression, so you're paying an extra $20 to get all the weapons rather than having to unlock them in the game.
I don't know. See, to me, I think this is where my perspective differs. One is, it's not within the game. I don't think of it as a microtransaction. I think of it as a macro transaction, the equivalent of almost like buying a piece of DLC. Because of the size of it. It's $20, so it's going to be something cost prohibitive to someone, in theory, who's already played the game much at all. Like, for me, I've still got quite a few that I need to unlock, but will I unlock them by doing that, or will I unlock them by just unlocking them? Right now, I'm thinking I'll just unlock them by unlocking them, although I'm tempted just a little if I had the extra cash sitting around. But $20 for a teacher, but it's sort of one of those things where I'm thinking, okay, all right, so we're jumping back into extraction here, that for someone who's just starting out, what they're essentially paying for is sort of a jump ahead. I wouldn't call it pay to win per se. Oh, it's already started. Because having access to... One thing you could say is that having access to all the weapons and all the star cards, I mean, you could unlock different ones that you're actually going to use relatively early, depending on how much you play, especially if you're playing regularly but not super regular. Why? Oh, it's scattergun. Okay. But I'm thinking in terms of, like, the fact that for better or worse, the progression in this game is designed for casual players. So a player who's playing, who's at level 1 or rank 1, and a player who's at rank 60 pretty much are the same, with only the exception being what you've unlocked or what you've chosen to spend your credits on. You could have chosen to spend your credits on nothing but emotes and costumes and be a high-ranked player and yet still not have your... Well, okay, I can't shoot out of my shield. And still not have all of the blasters and such. Like in my case, I mean, I'm at level 53, and I still don't have all the upgraded star cards because I saved up to get the stupid Twi'lek and the Shadow Trooper when times came around. So in that sense, I kind of feel like it's not quite what it's made out to be. It's not quite as bad as it's made out to be. It's a leg up for the... And I hate the fact that for some reason, on this game, on Extraction or on Outer Rim, every time I get a hero power-up, I don't get to choose who my hero is. It just throws me in as someone, which is asinine. But whatever. So,
ripped apart.
There we go. My brain's like, what?
I still disagree greatly, because what you're doing is you are getting extra progression. Yeah, granted, oh, okay, well, this puts me the same as anyone who's level 60 or whatever. But the point is, you are paying for the privileges of being able to unlock something you would not normally be able to unlock unless you were that level. That everyone else who did not spend that extra money did. So essentially, the extra money does put you, if say I start the game immediately and you start the game immediately, and when I start the game, I get the I don't get that pack, and you do. You are at a much greater advantage than I am. Just right out the bat.
But could you argue that point though anymore? Because at this point the game's been around long enough that the unlocks from the individual players vary. I could see it if that was something that was available right at the beginning. Right?
True,
so that from day one, where you really do get a leg up, and it's essentially pay to win. I don't think it makes enough difference now. I mean, what you're doing is you're making it so that, okay, I didn't play originally, so now I'm going to jump ahead just so that I can catch up to some extent with the people who are kicking my ass all the time. If that's even what's happening because of how little progression actually matters. But I would argue that it would be a microtransaction if you were buying... And the way that they said it, though, is... this is where I think they've got their out, is... God dang. I'm just not... I'm playing for shit today. I feel like when they said we're not going to have you go in the game and purchase individual weapons with cash and have a microtransaction in the game, they're holding to that because, A, you can't buy one gun at a time. You have to buy all or nothing, and it doesn't give you anything extra if you've already got stuff unlocked. And B, it is, by definition, not in-game. It is something you buy outside of it within the store like DLC. So I'm not sure that... I think it's hinky, but I can see why they would do it and why someone would buy it. But I don't think it qualifies as a microtransaction in the sense that would break their word.
But, like I said, that's basically like, well, it's like basically saying, oh, we've got a loophole. It doesn't matter whether, the fact that you're saying, oh, we left ourselves a loophole so we can do this, that's still shady as shit. Like, I still say them doing that is, that's them still going back on, and they're taking money. Even if you're saying, oh, well, hey, this can be beneficial to new players hopping in now to catch up. Okay, well, that's fine. Don't charge anything for it. Make it to where, hey, you buy the game brand new right now, then you get a code.
Yeah,
with it
but then you immediately have people bitching, hey, when I bought the game yesterday before you implemented this, I didn't get that kind of bonus. And this isn't like, if there's a sale, some stores where if there's a sale and you bought it the previous day, you can come back and get a refund as long as you got your receipt kind of thing. EA is not going to do that kind of thing.
Okay, well, so same thing with that though. You can turn around and say, well, I didn't get the game the first day it came out, but I got it the first month it came out. This wasn't available for me then, but you're making it available for these people. The point is, at the end of the day, it's not there for any other reason. I don't want to play Extraction anymore. I'll play Extraction later. This is kicking my ass, so we can play something else. Well, okay. If we're already in it, never mind. We'll play.
I'm jumping out now. I hit quit now.
Well, shit.
Too late to take it back now. And we'll have to, or Matthew, right? We'll have to figure out a time to do that. Possibly, and I have said this in previous streams, that it needs to be something that is arranged ahead of time. So if you arrange it ahead of time, then
what's up?
I have a person in the chat who was on a stream the other day who's just interested in. I'm just going to jump to the 40-player modes, I guess, or the 12. I'll jump to the 12-player modes. About doing being either part of a stream or playing in the same match while we're on a stream or whatever. But I'm leery of that to an extent, not because of him. I'm leery of that because we do have our person who had issues understanding that when I say, hey, I'm not joining someone's party in the middle of a match. Hey, I'm not joining private matches in the middle of a stream. I'm not joining private matches in the middle of a stream. I'm not bringing somebody into the party in the middle of a stream. I'm going to prearrange things or not do it at all. Still sends me fucking invites over and over and over, and can't seem to figure out that if you send an invite and somebody doesn't take it, you don't send it again 30 seconds later, and then 30 seconds after that, and then 30 seconds after that, which is what wound up happening one day where my wife and I were watching something on friggin' Netflix, and this asshat keeps sending the invitations. So we're kind of at the point where that person on the last stream kept sending invitations again. I'd already unfriended him once, gave him another chance and refriended him so that they could communicate that way. So we're just about ready to basically boot his ass, and I'm waiting till the next time he does that during a stream, because I will pull out the iPad while we are on the stream, and I will block his ass right in front of him. Just saying. As I relax.
Yeah, that's my thing. I don't, I don't do this kind of stuff. It's no offense to anyone, but just the case that, I don't know you. And
exactly.
If I don't know somebody and I'm doing something like this, I can't. It's one thing to just kind of hop in a game for fun sometimes, but if you're doing a stream, you can't count on. You don't know who that person is per se.
Well, exactly.
So you don't know what they may say on the stream. You don't know, especially like I said. Well, okay,
though,
we'll set it up.
For what it's worth, I don't know what I'm going to say.
Like, hey, that's true too. But the point I'm trying to say is that not knowing somebody and then just agreeing to hop in and play with somebody can kind of be, it can be detrimental to you. You're taking a risk, and
just joining a game is a little bit different if they just happen to hop in on the same game. It's just a matter of I want to know somebody and kind of prepare ahead of time if there's like you're saying, if they're going to be actually in the party and that sort of thing. And Jackson Alonso says, "Hey Nathan, tomorrow I'm going to Johnson Ridge Observatory at Mount St. Helens because it's the anniversary of the May 18th, 1980 eruption." That is awesome. I as a history teacher, that kind of thing is very cool to me. Being able to kind of be at the location of something like that. And Matthew, understand, I'm not at all talking about somebody else. I'm just saying that's why I'm weary of that sort of thing. Hey, Nathan, have you ever been to a Star Wars celebration? Are you going to attend in the future, like London and Orlando? So, the last...
actually, that's that one we're talking about right now in the episode that's going to come out today.
Yeah. Basically, to spoil the episode, no, but basically...
download it anyways.
Yeah, what's happening... Yeah, StarWarsReport.com. Cloud City Casino.
Or iTunes.
In previous years, but it's still Cloud City Casino. In previous years, what's tended to happen is they will either be on the wrong coast, it would be the West Coast, or they'll do it in the middle of freaking
rating period.
Whatchamacallit? They're doing it like sometime during the school year where it doesn't make sense even remotely to be able to miss school. Now, granted, most of these were back when I was teaching in a traditional classroom. Now, I've got the ability, hopefully, now that I'm teaching online, that even though it's in the midst of the school year, it is after spring break, which is actually what my students work the most, that and Thanksgiving break, I will be able, hopefully, to get to the one in Orlando. My wife and I are planning on it. It's just a question of actually getting there. That didn't work. We're closing on a house right now, so trying to make sure the funding is there, because if you make any large purchases, such as tickets or something like that, depending on the cost, or hotel reservation that causes you to pay ahead of time, it can screw up your ability to get a mortgage. Like, they're asking me everything. Oh, you got an influx of $90 this day. What is it from? I sold some freaking Blu-rays to a buddy of mine, and he paid me through PayPal. Well, we've got to know where that came from to make sure you're not a terrorist or a drug dealer. Are you crazy? But yeah, that's kind of the way that it is. But yeah, my intention is to get to Orlando. My wife and I are going to do that. We never had a honeymoon. We want to sort of make that a honeymoon/celebration trip. Let's see. So, but not London. It'd be Orlando, because it'd be something we could drive to. This is what? Yeah, this is Drop Zone. It would help if I actually paid attention to what mode we were doing. Let's see. To answer the question that was up there a second ago... why use two shotguns, like the scattergun and the whatchamacallit? Because I'm doing a stupid HUT contract that requires you to get scattergun kills and requires you to get shock blaster kills.
Yeah, hut contracts will have you with really weird loadouts.
Yeah, hut contracts are, again, I've said this on every stream, and I've said it on the show. I feel like hut contracts are basically going to McDonald's, paying for your food, they're being asked before they actually give you the freaking food. You should either pay for it or earn it, not both. But again, that's just me. Let's see.
Yeah, I feel a little differently just because myself, I feel like, okay, this is a game. You're playing it because it's fun, whereas cleaning the bathrooms is not something you want to do. So
well, I don't want to necessarily grind like mad, so maybe that's... All right, so let's see. So I missed what was said a second ago. You may want to repost that one that ends with the of the thing right here. It was, I understand what you're saying, or I see where you're coming from, or something like that, and I missed the rest of the comment. And Matthew says, I really understand. I'd just like to play, maybe in a stream. Okay, you don't know me, so if you think it's best, gotcha. And have I been to Mount St. Helens? I have not. I have not been west of St. Louis, I guess? I guess that's the furthest west I've gone. All my travels tend to be north and south, up the Midwest to south kind of area, like up as far north as Cincinnati area, and south to Florida, areas of Florida. Living in kind of narrow that scope, living in Georgia and previously living in Indiana. I'm gonna defend it. I'm fitting to die, but I'm gonna defend it. Hello. I actually should probably turn the music off the next time I get a chance to check my options, because I keep getting the flags on YouTube. Thankfully, they're all the, you don't need to worry about it. It's not being blocked in any country. Somebody else will just make money off of your stream. And I'm fine with that if it's, you know, EA, because EA's making money off of me in every other possible way. But there's a part of me that's like, that's concerned about what happened with, wow, we're getting our asses kicked again. That's concerned about what happened with the Disney Infinity live streams that I did, where people in Canada weren't able to watch because the thing was blocked because of the music.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love fair use, right? Yeah, no, another
damn it! I'm having such a hard time with this fucking scattergun. It's killing me. I'm never gonna get enough scattergun streaks in order to actually get this contract done, I don't think. This is killing. This is asinine. But that's okay. Anyway, you were saying...
Kind of how I'm feeling with this stupid rifle. Going back to the whole thing about, you know, having people in on the streams and stuff like that, because with me, big part of why I'm a little more trepidatious is because I've had people who want to do podcasts, but then once it's like, oh yeah, sure, okay, and then you don't hear from them,
right?
Because people, you know, they're interested, they're really really interested, and then it's like a week later, they're on to something else. And
yeah,
it's like, okay, well, I
heard your podcast. I heard your podcast.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I just heard the podcast, but I'm only going to think about it for a few minutes because I have the attention span of a gnat.
Right. So that's, like I said, not saying that that's you, Matt, at all. Just kind of explaining the reasons, as you know, why at least myself for sure I have a blanket policy of, you know, that I'm not going to do that type of thing.
Right. All right. See, I think the podcast listener meetup thing would be very cool if there is one at this one. I'd love to get involved in something. I would like to think that by reaching out to like Pablo or Leland, people that or Jason or Dan or some of the people I've had a chance to work with to some extent in the past, that maybe I'd be able to kind of get a leg up on being able to do some panel things or even be able to kind of like just do some meetups that they might know about to go to. But I really haven't looked into it. I mean, right now we really need to go ahead and pin down probably a hotel, and but we aren't going to be able to get tickets on the 25th. We'll have to wait till after the 27th because that's when our closing is supposed to be, and they will freak out if we spend any money. Matthew, as far as when the time difference appears to be kind of weird because you're saying that I saw the T and the 1 p.m. and thought it said 11 p.m. You're right. It is about 1 p.m. here now. So there is a pretty big time difference. I think it honestly, with my schedule, it depends on the day. It really depends on the day. Now, you're saying it's 7, so are you saying it's 7 p.m. then? In the Netherlands right now?
Where's he from?
Netherlands.
Oh, Netherlands. Very cool.
The Nether regions. Can't make fun of the Netherlands, though. That's where Eddie Vanderheiden is from, and he's one of the more prolific... one of the more prolific Star Wars... Dang! Chronology dudes out there. Wow, okay. Maybe I shouldn't bitch about this, the gun. Ah, he smacked me from behind. I almost had it. That's right. I was behind him and went bang. You know, I killed like 3 or 4 people in a row. And I was like, holy crap, I actually might get a streak this time.
I was getting shot, try to run behind a rock, and a dude standing right there like, hey, what's going on? Run into him, and he blocks me from cover.
Oops.
Thanks, dude.
Oh, yes, they call him the streak. Fastest thing on 2 feet. I forget what the name of that guy. Really? What was his name? The comedian?
From like 1977.
Oh yes, they call him the streak. I honestly don't remember. I just remember that I always wanted to get one of his, like, some of his comedy greatest hits albums, and I never did. Ray Stevens, that's the guy. Yes, they used to advertise the hell out of his collections late at night on Nick at Night, I think it was. All right, see you, Jackson.
Ridiculous.
Oh.
So, now, I believe I'm staying at the... I've already booked my hotel, and you only have to pay for the first night up front, but I booked the Avanti, I think is the name of it. So
what's an Avanti?
It's a hotel that's, you know, pretty much fell within what we felt like was... You know, we kind of pick, okay, price compared to location compared to the quality of the hotel itself, and so that one fell into about the same price or cheaper, nicer than, you know, basically cheaper than the ones that are really close, not too far away for some of the others that are even cheaper than it. Yeah. But nicer than the ones kind of in that distance. So I believe if I'm not mistaken, I believe we're within a mile. I believe we're within a mile of the convention center.
My concern is going to be, at least in part, is going to be I want to make sure that I mean we're okay with driving. I mean, my wife commutes to work 20 miles. I commute to work when I have a meeting, probably 30 miles plus, depending on where I'm going, because it depends on where the meeting's being held. But if there's not adequate parking at the location, that's when I'm going to have an issue. Because I'm good with driving, but I don't want to be, you know, unable to find a decent parking space. I just totally did this right by you, you suck. Okay, 7 kills is a streak. There's the answer. 7 kills with a shot blaster is a streak, so I need to do 7 more and then 7 more to get my 3 streaks. That won't take forever or nothing.
So, you know, the thing with that is that just figure out like a good spot. You may have to do some walking, but guess what? It's a convention. You're gonna have to do some walking.
Oh well, of course.
So, you know, since we're both driving, I can try to help you out with like what we're doing, and you know, I mean, hell, dude, if you go in the Avanti, we may just carpool or something. You know what I mean? Like, something like that. So we'll get it worked out. I don't think it's going to be an issue. The biggest issue is like if we do panels, then we'll have to wear pants.
Oh man!
I know.
Pants.
Ooh. Unless
they have those tables that let you like sit behind it.
They did tell me that if I cosplay as Malakili, I don't have to wear a shirt though, so that's beneficial.
Nice. Now, but you got to get your man boobs just right to play Malakili.
Oh, dude, I have
and your fake crying so that you can be like.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not even concerned about that. My man boobs are all in Malakili shape. In fact, I may have to lose weight.
There you go. Yeah, I haven't tried to do any kind of cosplay type stuff before. I probably won't do it this time, but I might wear the lightsaber. You know, it's going to be in the middle of summer, so wearing the Celebration 1
sir.
jacket won't work.
Did you hear me?
What?
I said I don't cosplay, I costume, sir.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, 501st members don't call it cosplaying. They call
What
it
is the difference between cosplaying and costuming? The stick up your ass. That's the difference.
No, not really.
Cosplay, it's the same thing!
No, it's not!
It's like, are you a video game player or are you a gamer? Are you an avid video game player or a gamer? Those are the same thing. I'm not sure. I think if you take the avid out, then you got... That's all right. We don't... I guess because they go for accuracy, they're assuming that they are costuming instead of cosplay.
Right.
But there are many, many cosplayers who go for accuracy. So, yeah.
So they're costuming. So.
Distinction without a difference.
No. There's a difference. Also, one of them sounds stupid.
They're both about costuming, so it makes little difference. There you go. Like the Watto-ness. Pull out the Watto there. Usually you can't pull out your Watto in public. So it makes little difference. That's what that was.
I asked.
Supposed to be.
I asked about that too.
Yeah, oh, you asked about pulling out your Watto in public, and they said no, you can't pull out your Watto in public.
Yeah.
I hate when
I said, but I mean, I would be on the panel. That's cool, right? And they said no, especially if you're on the panel.
You're definitely not allowed to have your flapping Watto out in public. Although I hear that's a good drink in the bar. Says the guy who doesn't. But still. Yeah, the flapping Watto. Okay, where's the net? There it is. What are you doing? You're standing there like looking through. What were you looking through? You were looking through. Oh, you were doing the orbital strike. You were like looking through macro binoculars. I'm like, what emote is looking through the macro binoculars, and why is he doing an emote?
That's not
like, what the fuck is that?
That's the most boring emote ever. And you can buy it for real money.
Now, see, that would be the thing. That would be the thing. And I think, ironically, that would anger me more if they made it so that the emotes cost real money, or the costumes cost real money, because even though they have no effect on the game, I'd be like, but they're so stupid!
That kind of crap doesn't bother me. In fact, I would much rather them do something like that if they want to provide, a counterbalance of actual add more in-game stuff. No actual cost to that. But oh hey, here's a new emote, but it's going to cost you $1 or $2. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Well, actually, that's ironically that is
the
what
most generic starting emotes ever.
You had the same kind of we are not going to do gameplay altering microtransaction stuff that was a Destiny promise, and you could argue whether or not they've actually kept it. But the first time they introduced them, at least, it was all cosmetic. It was all like shaders or emotes. And I was willing to drop some cash on those so I could get like the Thriller dance and stuff. So I was good.
Right.
Okay, so apparently we're playing Drop Zone.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not in the Drop Zone playlist, though. At least I don't think so. I just said go to the 12-mode quick match. So it doesn't cycle you through different 12-mode modes. It just drops you in one and keeps you there.
I don't know, son.
There is something screwy with the way that these playlist activations work. I'm just saying.
I think it's something you did. Now that we brought it up, I'm gonna look at emotes. What's a good emote that I can?
I don't know. I use the which is the Lewis Skolnick from Revenge of the Nerds, I think, or a Tusken Raider. I do the move along or nothing to see here thing, except because I'm a Twi'lek, it's not in basic/English, and I use the no that if I think about it, I always activate at the in the last few seconds of a losing match, but I usually don't think about it. Oh yes, they call him the street. That is stuck in my head.
Is the scream the Wilhelm scream?
Yes. No, actually, no, I don't think it is. I think it's just or no or something like that. What was I gonna say? Could be worse. It could be definitely worse. My wife and I have been binge watching Prison Break, and we're about halfway through season 4, where the big real enemy of Season 4, or real antagonist of Season 4 is revealed. And there's very little music to that show, but most of the time when it goes to commercial, it's bop, 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 bop. So I will do that constantly and drive my wife nuts. I really need some other mental thing other than being stuck with that. And Darth Robin has confirmed in the chat as I got shot that yes, if you were to go to a playlist, the 40-person playlist or the 12-person playlist, you just get dropped into a specific mode that needs people that fits that number, and then you are stuck in that mode, and that is the only mode you get to play. It doesn't rotate. So if you do Outer Rim, there is no way to stay in the mode that you want. You're always rotating, and if you're playing the classic stuff, there's no way to rotate. You're always stuck in one mode. What the hell? That's kind of asinine. Michael?
Yeah, sorry. I was
making sure you're still alive.
This is your fault. You've got me now looking at emotes.
Yeah! Shot through the back, and I'm to blame. EA,
all right.
You and your macrotransactions give Battlefront a bad name.
That's right.
Somebody had asked earlier why I'm not using Focus Fire, because I want to just get more charges for Personal Shield without having to pay for them. That's it. I don't care. Oh, got him. Let's see, what are you using, the T21B? No, that's a targeting. Yeah. That's the targeting.
No, T21.
T21 without the B.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't like it. Which one do you like as far as...
That's Heavy Blaster, right?
Yeah.
If you got to do Heavy Blaster, do the first one. The first one on the choices.
Okay.
It's a nice, incredibly rapid fire, just drill away their health kind of thing.
Well, if you can keep it on them, that's the biggest problem for me, is that it's just
you know how you do that? Aim.
Oh, thank you. See,
that is my expert Battlefront advice. Oh, claim to pod. Claim to pod. Oh, pod is the opposite direction. As opposed to being in the opposite erection, which would be a really weird thing to do.
And it takes so long to kill him. He has the 11, I have this one. Mine's supposed to be the Heavy Blaster. I'm sitting there laying into him. He's only got a little bit of life left. He ducks behind a rock. He comes back out. I hit him maybe once or twice, and then he hits me just a couple times, all said and done. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, because
Well, I'm using the Shock Blaster, so if I don't kill him on the first shot, I usually won't get a second shot. How many kills do I have? 2. I gotta kill 5 more in order for that to count as a streak. Oh, I see you. I'm behind you. You're dead. Oh, how is he not fucking dead?
Yeah, just so everybody knows, E11. If you've not played this game, E11 is where it's at. And if you
see, I hate the E11. I really do. And the DH or DL17, I hate them because they're just. I either want something that's really, really rapid firing, or I want something that's really powerful and slow. I don't want something that's in the middle. I'm not freaking Goldilocks here.
Well, you know, the first step is admitting you're wrong.
Not too hot, not too cold, just right. Mine. Oh, I heard a Rhodian say something that sounded like "Otso hee-ha" or something like that. I'm pretty sure that Rhodian just called your mother a whore, Imperials. Speaking of things to check out, which, you know, has nothing to do with what I was actually saying, something that y'all might want to check out and that maybe he and I can talk about on the show tomorrow, although it has absolutely no relevance to gaming. There has been a release of a preview of the first handful of pages, or a few pages, from the Rogue One visual guide that has managed to...
Was that a release, though? Because I don't know that
it was released on Eldawise, or I forget what the name it is, but it was an official release of preview material. But I don't think it was one that was coordinated. It was one of those, we've got a new book coming, and we always put up a preview of this many pages, so here you go. Oh, shit. That was a Star Wars book that included spoilers. Oopsie.
Yeah, but they would have had to have given them those pages in order to do that.
Well, but it's the publisher that had it was the publisher's website or whatever. It's the one that Del Rey uses all the. I think it's Del Rey uses all the time. Maybe it's Dorling Kindersley. I don't remember. But yeah, I mean it's sort of the normal practice, and this has happened before.
Yeah, I mean if all of this is for sure legit and good and everything, I like all the stuff we're seeing. I like the new. I forgot what they call that tie. It looks basically like your tie. It looks kind of like a Phantom that had its top fin, little top solar panel broken off.
But I think that's just going to lead to that's going to lead to even more of the. Well, why don't we see that when in the other films? The same as the Death Troopers, which are now officially referred to as Death Troopers. Which, means that they should all be turning into zombies.
Squad. I thought it was Death Squad.
I believe it's Death Trooper that's in the thingy. That's in the booklet. But we found out that no, it's not Biggs. I mean, there's not a whole lot of big spoilers. We found out that the guy's not an ISB agent or a friggin' Grand Admiral with the white. He's just the director of the Imperial Military. Okay. What's his actual title or rank then?
Director.
My name is Director. So your Director Fury? Hey, I reached the next level. Elite. Hey, I killed 2 people in one shot.
You know what?
Hell yeah!
I just got your new title. You are Director of what do you call it? Director of
of angering
my
Wookiees?
wife's job. Hold on, let me think. No.
Of making sandwiches?
Oh! You're Director of Public Relations and that was pretty good. The Public Relations and Protocol. There you go.
Okay, yeah, because of the protocol droid. I think the making sandwiches thing was a good one, but I think that if you ever told her that or my wife that there would be problems. I'm sorry, Nathan can't play with Michael anymore.
Would be like,
of course, with the fact that I work at home mostly and my wife works at the hospital down there, I'm usually the one putting the food together, so I don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah. I know how to make sandwiches!
My wife would just be insulted that I said sandwiches and not like something...
Not something fancier?
Yeah. Oh, come on! His fist button works and my fist button doesn't?
I don't think it's called a fist button. Unless you're on that website you were advertising.
That's Brazzers.com. Look me up under Morris Isley.
Don't, whatever you do. I fell into that trap and almost did. I was like, so what is this before? Because I'm like, I don't know if he's giving me a phishing site or what, just kind of to screw with me.
Yeah, it's.
But I was like, yeah, never mind.
It's a not safe for work site.
Apparently so.
I do gotta lie. I actually stole that from another podcaster, so it's not like I'm hilarious and come up with it myself. But,
who did you steal that from?
Do you know what they say about?
Do you remember who you stole it from?
It's actually. I do, but see, it's a different genre, so that's how a lot of people can be like,
it's funny because I don't listen to that podcast.
Right. But it's a wrestling podcast called Cheap Heat, which is
nice.
Good. It's not as good lately.
It's nice to know that, that intellectual property matters. That's his joke. It's like me singing The Streak or something. It's just wrong. Wait, what? I see you in your yellow. We're gonna lose, but I'm going for that streak. I don't know how many kills I got anyway. I got 11. I got to kill 3 more to get another streak. I don't think that shit's happening. Uh-oh. I'm like running and I hear that whoop, 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 the proximity bomb about to go off and just veer off to the side and still die. But at least I heard it this time. Actually. At least I heard
I died right next to you. How's that make you feel? We best friends. Each other.
That's totally a better argument than what I was going to say, because the only example I could think of 2 people dying next to each other by choice when one dies like previously was Romeo and Juliet, and I thought there was something wrong with that. Which, by the way, folks, is a cautionary tale. If anybody tells you Romeo and Juliet is a love story, they are wrong. is a cautionary tale about teenagers making dumbass decisions all the time.
That's right. Or,
oh my gosh,
as I
we
like
fell
to
in.
say, just because you hit it doesn't mean that you can't quit it.
There you go. What's it? Well, by then they were married though. By the time they hit it,
it still doesn't matter.
It's that whole
Dude.
It's modern day, yes I know. I'm just thinking about the whole, oh, you touched my hand and I saw you across the room. I'm in love with you forever. You snuck into my backyard and were spying on me, but that's sweet, not stalkery at all. And let's get married immediately. And oh, shut up! This is why you do not want the country run by teenagers or Kardashians. Who apparently have a book out. I have not seen it. I have not read it. I heard a reference to it on a talk radio program that apparently the Kardashians have a book out referring to themselves as America's royal family. And if that is the case, God help us. Then again, we have bigger problems right now as it stands anyway. I am impressed by the fact that our country in November is going to elect either our first female president or our first Oompa Loompa president. So...
yeah, or our first cartoon president. One way or the other, we're making history.
Yep. But Simpsons did it first.
That's right.
Go, 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 go!
The first pod is down.
The first pod is down.
So, I didn't see the chat. Did anyone else have any in the chat? Did they have any sort of opinions about the microtransaction slash macrotransaction slash bullshit? Nobody had any opinions? Okay.
Nope. Nope. The chat's actually been relatively quiet in the last little bit.
By that you mean empty.
Not empty. We got 2 people who are watching, who are logged in watching, and who knows how many who are not logged in watching, who are just streaming the video without being able to be counted. And we got about 31 comments right now that have been made in the chat, which is decent. We've gotten into the hundreds before, or the 100+ before. But that's depending on who's in the chat and how much they're wanting to interact that way and how much they feel comfortable doing so.
I really, really, really need to get rid of Barrage. I keep meaning to do it, but I don't. It sucks, dude. It's so bad.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Barrage. Or Barrage. Barrage, as they say in the South. What the shit? Alright.
Here.
That wouldn't work. That didn't work. Play the objective. Not gonna play the objective. I need to get streaks. I need one more streak.
One more streak.
I'm going to be one of those people who doesn't play the objectives and only plays for what I want, which is most people.
Right.
I'm going to play it like it's Blast. Team Deathmatch. Because that's the way we roll.
Crap. He must have hit me in the head. As soon as I walk around the door, guy kills me. With an E11, by the way. Once again, E11, best weapon in this game. Don't know how many times I have to say that.
Okay, I still got killed, but I walked into one of those little side hangar-looking rooms with the moisture evaporators and everything, where in cargo you'd usually have your cargo sitting. Guy is standing in one of the little window-looking areas next to a crate, shooting down at me, so I use my jetpack, jump pack, and land on the crate next to him. He has no idea quite where I am, so I shoot him in the head while I'm standing on the crate and still manage to kill him when I had no right to still be alive.
We have the location of another pod. Do not let it fall.
I have 0 kills.
I have 1, so I just need 6 more for a streak.
I don't know why this game doesn't keep up with your assists either. Like, that's stupid.
It doesn't keep up with your assists at all, yeah.
Or at least that it tells you. I mean, I imagine it has to because it gives you points or whatever. But come on.
All right, there's 2 more kills because 3 guys just walked into the hallway at the same time, and I just popped 2 of them in the face. So that's 3 kills. I need 4 more to get my streak. You dirty Rhodian! That's racist. Or speciesist.
Oh, we played run around the crates to find each other. The problem was that he Didn't
found you
realize I was
first?
running right behind him the whole time. No, I found him first.
Ah.
He thought he'd run around and wait on me. And he waited on the wrong side. Shot him right in the back.
Another pod has landed.
So did you switch to that first one that I was saying? The first heavy blaster choice?
I did. I don't like.
Is that what you carry?
I don't like.
There's
any
another
heavy
one. There's
blasters.
the one, I think it's at the end of the first row. I don't... Unless it's an iconic weapon, I don't tend to pay attention to what the numbers are of the weapon and stuff like that, so...
Well, I mean, even if they are, I mean, some of them are pretty damn difficult to remember. I mean, there are essentially 3 different guns that look like the DL-44, and some of them aren't even made by Blastech.
I have no idea. What the... I'm in the dark.
Like, I'm pretty sure, so Luke's blaster in Empire Strikes Back that looks just like a DL-44 when he's on the tip of his X-Wing, you know what I'm talking about? Like in the swamp of
yeah.
Dagobah?
Yeah. Looks
Okay,
similar.
Yeah, not a DL-44. Not even made by the Blastech company. Made by someone totally different. Looks exactly the
Stole
same.
the
Because
design.
they are both right because they're both built off of Mauser C6 or C9. I can't.
I
remember,
believe the name of that is Zune. As in Microsoft's trying to rip off the iPad or iPod that didn't work worth a damn.
Gotcha. Sorry, that joke was both dated and absurd.
Okay, how about I call it Windows? Better? Because they did rip
going
off the
further back.
original Mac operating system.
That's true. That's true.
I call it Deep Space Nine. Oh, that's one of my our guys, right? Because they did
Battlestar
rip off
Galactica. There we go. We'll stick with
Babylon
the-
5.
Just call it Battlestar Galactica. We'll stick within universe of Star Wars and whatnot.
Oh, you gonna come around the corner at me?
It's kind of funny.
Oh, for
it's
fuck's
odd to me
sake.
that it's odd to me that Battlestar Galactica actually was able to kind of, and I don't know the full details of the lawsuit, but I would have really thought that they would have pretty much been done by that point.
But
and not able
Battlestar
to,
Galactica conceptually is so different from Star Wars. I mean, it has certain things in common with it, but its story is different, its characterizations are different, the setup is different.
Well,
I mean,
But that was the thing. I mean, they essentially took. There was a lot. I'm trying to remember exactly, but I mean, because I don't know if you know, their designer was also Ralph McQuarrie.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, Stormtrooper Cylons. You know,
So
very
every
similar,
movie that has ever had John Williams music has ripped off Star Wars music.
Yeah, basically.
That was a sound of me slapping. And
no,
Kills
but what
3
I'm saying, though, is, I mean,
suckage.
you look at those designs and stuff. They, because I mean, they sued them for it at the time, and I'm pretty sure they won too. Because there was a lot of stuff. I can't remember exactly, but there was a lot that looked so similar. And the thing is, like, it's one thing if you're like, well, that kind of looks like an X-wing. It's like that looks like an X-wing. That looks like a TIE fighter. That looks, you know. I mean, there were just too many similarities was the problem.
All right, so I'm apparently getting nailed by the "we won't show your progression correctly" crap on the HUT contracts. I have gotten 2 Shock Blaster streaks so far, which means I've gotten at least 14 Shock Blaster kills. It's only showing me with 3. Yeah. So who knows if when I actually reach the point of being able to unlock this, if I'll actually unlock it. Because, yeah, it's showing me with a hell of a lot less Shock Blaster kills than I should have.
Alright, so I need
That's
one more
not
kill
good.
with a heavy blaster,
Scanners are picking up the location of the
and
first pod.
I need
Let's
3
get
more
to
kills
it
with a
and get to it
targeting rifle.
quickly.
But I need 2 more targeting rifle kill streaks, so. Let's do this.
That's way on the other side over here.
My mom's on the other side.
Hello
essentially
from
what I
the
apologize.
other side of your mom's bed.
Around the escape pod.
Oh, that didn't work.
Hey, I know that song now.
For leaving your mom's bed? Oh, wow, getting my...
I think it was like a month ago. I'm like, oh, so Guys, why didn't anybody ever tell me about... Dang it, I can't think of her name now. What's her name?
Adele. My
Adele,
wife
there we go.
listens
I knew it
to
was
it.
like
I
one
don't
name.
listen to it, but I know that it's hello from the other side. So anytime she says hello and doesn't say anything with it, I follow with the from the other side, just because, you know, I roll like that. I'm all about the cheap gags.
It's actually really, really good. She's got some pipes on her. But
That's what they call them these days. At least you didn't say it, like. At least you weren't talking about like John Cicada. Hey, there's a name from the past. To be like, man, he's got a pipe on him. Wait a second. Then you could advertise your website. Ah, shot.
Come on, this thing is so weak.
Imperials have secured the escape pod.
Imperials have secured the escape pod.
Oh
Well,
my
you
God.
weren't playing the objective, you jerk.
I'm sorry.
We've identified the position of
I apologize 1,000 times.
as soon as possible.
Oh my god, is that the helium version?
I don't know. I don't know. You spend all this time podcasting and you lose your mind.
Speaking of podcasting, you can find us over at iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn.
What the shit?
And while you're there, go ahead and leave us a 5-star written review.
Especially if all you've seen is the live stream and you've never actually listened to the podcast, because listening might actually lower your
Even
opinion.
if you're just tuning in now. If you're just tuning in now and you're like, I'll go ahead and give you guys a 5-star written review, that's fine too. I don't, you know, I'm not as, what's the word? It doesn't really bother me how we get them, as long as we get them. You know, you don't have to mean it as long as you do it.
You're a bit
Like
of a.
sex.
You're a bit. I stopped dead. Like, wait, what? I was about to say you're a bit of a review whore, but then you say that, and now I'm like, oh. At least I killed the guy standing next to the probe droid that killed me. How many kills do I have? I got 2. I really need to get at least 5 more. I need to get the friggin' other streak, so I can start focusing on the scatter gun and switch my primary out. Although I don't know if it's going to keep telling me I've only got however many kills I got in the last match. Oh, I missed him. I jumped and I tried to come down on this person and fire, and I must have shot right behind him. Move forward! Show no mercy! Name the movie.
God.
Area around the escape pod.
Move forward, show no mercy. That's Destro, G.I. Joe the movie. Just like if you're on Hoth and you say,
Sorry.
curse this weather, then Baroness, G.I. Joe the movie.
Alright. I just really hate how weak this blaster is.
You only got to do what? One
There
more
we
kill,
go.
though, right? And then you
Yeah,
can switch
I just
it?
finally got it, thank God.
Okay. Unless your stats reset like mine keep resetting.
Hey, why don't you shut your mouth?
You shut your whore mouth!
You put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
There we go. We actually got one.
We picked up another escape pod.
It's a celebration. Oh, try it. Gotta get over there.
Imperials are taking that escape pod.
Now I'm taking it, Ricky Bobby. I don't even know where the Ricky Bobby thing comes from, and you're the one saying Ricky Bobby. What is the Ricky Bobby thing?
From Talladega Nights, the Ricky Bobby story.
Oh, okay, yeah, I
It
haven't
says,
seen it.
oh God, you need to. It's really funny.
I tend to
I
find
feel like
it's
you would like it.
it's Will Ferrell, right?
Mm-hmm.
I tend to find him either really funny or incredibly stupid, depending on the film. So he's not.
This is one of his
somebody
good ones, so.
You killed my paw! I'm gonna chase your ass down. Where are you going, you biker scout son of a bitch? I got him back for you, Hoss.
In fact,
That escape pod forward.
I'm pretty sure that Talladega Nights.
And that should have counted as a
is-
streak. No, it should.
I
Never
believe
mind.
that his has the highest tomato score on Rotten Tomatoes, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh Lord. Poor Batman versus Superman.
Oh God.
Poor
No, not
Dark
poor that
Knight.
movie. Poor anyone. Poor everybody who had to watch that piece of shit.
Now that's not nice to say.
Why? It's true.
Ain't nice at all.
And here's the thing. So I just watched Civil War. Have you seen Civil War yet?
Nope, not yet. Although I love the song.
Guess what?
I love the Guns N' Roses song. Does that count?
I don't need your shiver.
You said you did see Batman v Superman, though, right?
I did see Batman versus Superman. Yes.
Okay, it's the same movie. Civil War. And,
Yeah, they're conceptually. Yeah, they're pretty much the same film. To a large extent, not entirely.
But
you don't-
to a very large extent. I'm talking about like certain things happening at certain points in the movie, very similar to the other one, very very similar. But execution shows you why Batman v Superman is a steaming pile of rat dung, and Civil War is actually a good film.
Now, when rats take a crap, is it in a pile?
I don't know, man.
Maybe a
it's just
pile
pellets,
of
but
rat
point
dung?
being,
Yeah, I hear ya. Okay, and now I've got 8 kills, and I think they've pretty much all been with my shock blaster, and I haven't got a streak. Although, wait, does a streak? If you kill somebody with something other than that weapon, does it end your streak? Because if so, the fact that I killed somebody with a I don't know what it was, a melee or something. I don't even freaking know. Probably just screwed me up.
I said that bare hands.
Enemy units nearby.
There we go. There's my streak. Oh, right as we're defeated, I do a jump and finally kind of pull off what I was trying to do, which is land near somebody and blast him in the face or hit him while I'm flying at them. I pulled back just enough to actually land right beside him and pop him. There we go. Most pods activated. That's me. That's that dude from Tron. All right, let's do one more match, and then we'll probably have to call it a day. I still don't have much in the way. I mean, like I said, this is kind of the lunch break, but nobody doing anything at the moment. So I keep checking my stuff, and I got nothing. It's like nothing to be done. But okay. I mean, all right, if that's the way they want to play it. People watching are like, dude, they must really like Drop Zone. No, it's what they put us in. All right, let me check my HUT contracts. See if that counted. Okay, so it's counting the 3 out of 3 shock blaster streaks, and now it's counting me as killing 15 enemies with any shock blaster. It's showing me at 7 instead of 15.
Excellent.
So now I guess I got to stick with the shock blaster, even though I have no desire to, and should be well above that, because if I just got 3 streaks of 7, that's 21. 21 is greater than 15. I should already have that other one done. In fact, I should have had it done right as I started that last streak or before, but no. Because EA can't, well, DICE can't figure out how to do the HUT contracts and have them actually track correctly since their last update. It's been broken.
Scanners have located the first escape pod.
Scanners have located that first little escape pod.
Oh, it's interesting that they are escape pods, but they don't actually have anybody in them. So they're not really escape pods per se, they're like cargo pods. It's like just because it's a just because it's like a an old school.
Well, if it's an escape pod and they put cargo in it, does that automatically make it a cargo pod, or is it still technically an escape pod?
I don't know, because I'm thinking like if I get one of those sweet Shelby Mustangs that are used as police cars, but I'm not using it as a police car, is it a police car?
Yeah.
Or is it different when the police are involved?
Well, I think it's different in that it's a car, but it has to be made into a police car as opposed to the other way around. If you bought one that was a police car, then I guess technically, yeah, it's still a
But if I
police
bought it
car.
as a
It's not
police car, but if I'm not a police officer and I bought it as a police car and I bought one of those ones like at an auction or something, then is it a police car?
I think it's still a police car. It's just not a policeman's car. Does that make sense? Because it's your car.
Yeah, but I think we're splitting a lot of hairs here. And I think this falls under the wow. They've run out of shit to talk about, haven't they?
No, this is just what we do. I mean, just make
random bullcrap. Oh! How do you like that? I killed him so bad that a whole bunch of weird stuff happened with the geometry.
Excellent. I love breaking physics.
Hard on me. And we go again.
Good lord, Scattergun takes 19 hours to reload.
19 hours?
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, there's a guy right behind you in Shadow Troop. No, not Shadow Troop armor. You're in Shadow Troop armor, but he was right behind you, just standing there the whole time, and you're just like, I'm gonna go activate this pod. It's like, kill him first.
No, I'm dead. I've been made dead.
So you want to hear something funny? I cannot actually make my, in the 501st, I cannot make my Shadow armor match this armor. Otherwise, it will not be approved.
Okay. You can't?
Because...
Oh, you can't make the armor match the armor in the game, is what you're saying.
Right. So, for instance, like if I put the Imperial Cog decal that's on your chest, if I put that on mine, that is not in the CRLs and therefore not approvable.
That's asinine. This is
well,
why?
But because that had never, to my knowledge, that had not been something seen before until this game, and therefore they didn't have it in the CRLs, and they haven't changed the CRLs.
Meaning
yet.
they just haven't updated.
And they may not. They may not.
But if they don't,
that's
that's ridiculous. That's stupid. If they allow a Shadow Trooper at all, which is not in a film, so it can't be film accurate, then to turn around and say, well, we can't use this source versus this source, even though they're the same damn thing, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Got a question. Got a question in the chat from XZ Pezer, XZPEZER, who asked best character in the EU. I'm going with a twofer answer. Ulic Keldroma, because what the crap? Because his fall and redemption story was awesome and so much better played than the way Anakin's was. And Cade Skywalker, because he is such a complex and interesting, bizarre Skywalker, to the point where my wife and I, if we ever have a son, will name our son Cade as his first name. Michael, best character in the EU.
Okay, so best character in the actual EU.
We'll go with Legends. We'll go with the original EU, and then we can go with canon.
Okay. So, it's kind of hard. It is really hard. I mean, I can just kind of throw out a few people that I like. You know what? I know who I like. Vert, or Piggy.
Oh, Vort Sabinrig. Piggy.
Yeah, there we go. Yep.
Nice.
I like Piggy a lot.
Now we got an answer here from
much prefer. I'm sorry. I was gonna say I much prefer Aaron Alston's X-Wing books to Michael Stackpole's. I would argue that
I
Aaron
much prefer
Alston's a better writer.
Yeah. Let's see. Darth Robin says that he or she, don't know if Robin is male or female in this case, but Darth Robin says that they like Thrawn and Mara Jade. Mara Jade's okay. I liked her more at times than others. I got to be honest with you, though, Thrawn, as much as I loved him in the Thrawn trilogy, and to an extent I even enjoyed the machinations in the Hand of Thrawn duology when he wasn't even alive anymore, it got to a point where any time that Thrawn would be written by Zahn basically turned him into a god. Like, if you look at Choices of One, there is absolutely no way that Thrawn could possibly have been as master a chess player, so to speak, as he was. Thrawn out-Siths the Sith in every possible way as soon as you get to Allegiance and Choices of One. It's like Zahn decided that if he can put out shitty stories with his name on him, and screw it, they're going to sell like crazy and get all kinds of fanfare because, hey, it's Zahn writing for the EU again, then he can make Thrawn do whatever he wants.
And that's the problem with, and see, that's what I have. That's an issue I have on Michael Stackpole and a lot of the Legends books as a whole. They become more wish fulfillment than they did actual books. You know, more along the lines of at
times,
what you would really call fan fiction.
Where it's basically like my character is almost going for the Mary Sue thing for real, actually fitting the concept of a Mary Sue instead of what people say a Mary Sue is. Let's see.
Right.
So we got
she's too perfect so she's a Mary Sue, but no, but it's actually I wish I could be this character.
Right. It's a wish fulfillment.
Like
it's
a wish fulfillment thing
projection
through a character, and right. Michael Stackpole's is definitely Corran Horn, and then you can see with Zahn, it's definitely Thawne. And I also want to say on Thawne, my problem with him, I keep saying Thawne, I mean Thrawn. There's a Thawne from something else.
You're thinking of the Flash, Eddie Thawne.
Oh yeah, I've been watching
and Eobard
Flash
Thawne
a lot lately. Yes. So anyhow, the thing with that is, if you really think about it, he's a Star Trek villain. He's not a Star Wars villain. He's a Star Trek villain.
Because he thinks instead of being all evil, dark-sidey?
Not so much that. It's just that he's all like, I'm into art and, finer things.
He's like, what if Jean-Luc Picard went to the dark side?
Exactly. 100%. And that's where Zahn came from. And that's the problem, is that Zahn came from writing Star Trek novels. And a lot of these guys were writing Star Trek novels. And they wrote their Star Wars novels just like Star Trek novels. Guess what? Star Trek
they're
is
different.
Science fiction. Star Wars is fantasy that just happens to take place in space.
Right.
Huge distinction. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox now, and you can answer the next question.
Okay. Two other questions pop up. One, could Snoke be Luke? No. I see absolutely no way that Snoke could possibly be Luke.
It's possible. It's possible. I don't think it's possible, but not probable.
He'd have to be using some kind of fake appearance. He would have to be responsible for bringing down his own Jedi Academy just so he could go chill on a mountaintop. Essentially. He would have to somehow be watching the Clone Wars unfold when he hasn't been born yet. That's a part of it, too.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah, you're correct. As
soon as you start throwing in the novelization,
Bloodline, so...
there's no way. And Bloodline, there's no way. Yeah. Let's see.
That's true. So no, I guess he's not. Sorry, I tried
to
go down that venture.
Tried to go down the rabbit hole, but my butt was too big. Going back to the man boobs. Favorite Star Wars game ever released? For me, hands down, The Force Unleashed 1. I absolutely love The Force Unleashed 1.
Excellent game.
Yeah, Sam Witwer's portrayal, the depth of the story that we got, even though it did cause some consternation to begin with, the way it interacts with other material, the fact that you're finally getting to really kind of feel like a powerful Jedi, and to an extent also, I would almost say the fact that it does play different on multiple platforms. Like if I had to choose one, I'd say the PS3 or Xbox 360 version, which now can be played on Xbox One, which I talked about in the last stream I can't stream because there's no way to natively stream to YouTube from Xbox One, only to Twitch. But even playing on the Wii version, even though the graphics were freaking horrible and the game felt kind of broken to some extent, the motion controls were fantastic on the original The Force Unleashed on Wii.
Yep, a lot of people really enjoyed that. I didn't care for the graphics of it. Honestly, that took me out. I know that's kind of a shallow thing to say, but I also don't date fat chicks, so whatever. Okay, that was super rude.
Kill 15 enemies with any shock blaster. Hut contract task completed. Now I can switch to my scattergun. Do you think they could have done done adaptions to EU books? And I went into this. I would suggest go check out my vlog on the YouTube channel here. The vlog is called The Voice of Reason or Lack Thereof, but check out, I believe it's number 1, actually, which is the question of whether or not a reboot was going to happen. And part of that gets into what options did they have when making new films, and would they have done adaptations of prior books? My argument would be maybe they could do something like a direct-to-video animated thing, but would they have done it as feature films? No, they wouldn't have, because of the backstory necessary, because they wanted to tell a new story, and because Star Wars is not Harry Potter. You're not putting out stories based on previously existing things. Even though people said all the Star Wars books were already written, and the original Star Wars movies were all just based on books that Lucas had already written, which was bullshit, because Lucas didn't even write the first one. That was, as far as the books go, that was Alan Dean Foster, though the misconception was created by the fact that Alan Dean Foster's novelization of A New Hope was released in December of 76 as opposed to May of 77, etc., etc. So I don't see them doing that. I don't think it would have been a viable business choice for them, but it would be cool to see that maybe like on home video. Michael, I stepped on you. Go for it.
Well, they could pick and choose a few things. I don't think they're going to necessarily, because they don't want to put themselves in a corner in any way. But they could pick and choose some novels that don't have any sort of anything else around it. For instance,
so crappy
Kenobi.
ones.
Kenobi could easily be adapted.
Okay, crap. You say crappy ones, and then you say Kenobi. Kenobi was awesome.
Plagueis, that one easily could be adapted.
Oh, no. Plagueis connects to way too much. Plagueis is like a spider web into the Legends continuity. It would create way too many questions about, well, does that mean that this is canon? This is canon. This is it. But if they label them as Legends films, I don't think it's that big of a deal if they do like an animated film or even like a direct-to-video, whatever. But they'd have to label it as Legends. Let's see.
True.
Let's see. Almost finished The Force on 1. Went back to it today. I'm looking to see if we can connect the Xbox to YouTube. If you figure out how to do it without buying specialized equipment, please let me know, Alistair, because I would love to do that. I want to stream those, but I can't. Let's see. Darth Robin. It'd be boring in my opinion. I'd much rather have news stories where I don't know what will happen. I think that's the main thing that they were really pushing for. And don't you think Kylo Ren is based on Jason Solo? I'm not sure that Kylo Ren is based on Jason Solo per se. There are similarities to him, but keep in mind that
way too mild, though.
If you go back to the 1980s, when Lucas had stopped talking about Star Wars as one film and had stopped talking about it as 12 films starting with A New Hope and started actually talking about it as 9 films, he and Mark Hamill referred to the fact that in the sequel trilogy there would be a child who has fallen to the dark side who would need to be redeemed, very much like the child redeems the father in the original trilogy. So the idea of having a child of one of the big three, or at least in this case 2 of the big 3, falling to the dark side and needing to be redeemed, that is something that is sort of ingrained in the idea of a sequel trilogy from the earliest days of Lucas even talking about it. There are similarities to Jason, but just because he's a child of Han and Leia and fell to the dark side. But beyond that, I think the similarities for the most part stop.
Yep, I agree too, because there's a lot of it with the Great Jedi stuff, him, as opposed to he was more of your typical fall, whereas with Kylo Ren it's something totally different, where he's more trying to force his fall. He's saying
he's got a little bit of both, and he's trying to stay away from away from the light and not be corrupted by it. Now, I will say, and I don't know when we're going to end this. I just know that we need to end before the 2-hour mark. I have nothing still to do. I keep checking things, but I have nothing still to do. But I know that usually when it gets to around the 2-hour mark is when the stream will crap out on us. So just got to be careful.
Yeah.
Let's see. Question in the chat. Who do you think Supreme Leader Snoke is? At this point, I honestly think Supreme Leader Snoke is someone we've never seen before. I think he's just Snoke. Because they've said he's not Plagueis. I think we're going to get
sort of like a reveal of... I think they're going to kind of give us like who he is per se, but not as in... I think it's going to be like, oh, here's a guy, and here's his deal, and
like
here's
context.
His connection to the dark side or whatever. Right, but I don't think we're going to get like... Turns out it was Crix Madine! I don't think that's going to be...
This is what happened to Agent Caddis. Right, or something like that.
Right. Man, Agent Callus, I'm really interested to get his story. And I'll be honest, as much as I like Rebels,
They're taking that escape pod.
I would love for them to flesh stuff out more than what they're doing. They're doing, like, the biggest problem I have with that show is that they've got a lot of filler episodes, which I would be fine with if they didn't have so much other stuff
that needs
they
to be
should
told,
be
right.
doing that they aren't. Right. For instance,
Puffer Pig?
that story that Jason Aaron, not Jason Aaron,
Jason
Aaron
Fry?
is a comic book writer, but that
Jason
Jason Fry wrote about that.
Servants
that
of the
boy.
Empire. Right, Servants of
Yeah,
the Empire
that-
about Zaire Leonis' story that intersects with 2 episodes, Breaking Ranks and Voices of Hope, but which is a separate story and actually ends. It for those of you who are waiting for Rebels, the cartoon show, to tell us what happened to Zaire's sister in the end of that story that's hinted at a couple times, no, that's in the book. It's already been answered. That's in Servants of the Empire.
Which to me is that is infuriating to me.
Really?
You know, I cannot believe. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe that they didn't tell that story in the show, and that's the problem that I have. Is what happened?
But
to
it's
this?
all
They never
canon
picked
now.
Up and they did a book on it, right?
But it's all
right,
canon.
That's fine, but it's still a matter of. I mean, there's still a level of.
Sorry, I walked up behind somebody and shot him in the back, and he was completely oblivious, and I was amused. But it's still a level of. Sorry.
It's still a level of accessibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If a kid, I mean, let's take for instance, for us, we have things are a lot more accessible to us than other people. For instance, men with families, not everything's as accessible to them, and women. I don't know why I said men. I guess I was being sexist there. My bad. But same thing with like kids. They don't have, it's like, oh, I want to go to this. Oh, I can't because I can't drive, and my mom said she doesn't feel like it right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
They don't have the same accessibility. They don't even have the same connections that we do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about you, but like my Facebook page and my Twitter page, they are so rooted within Star Wars culture, I guess, that any sort of news tidbits or anything, I'm going to be alerted to it.
Right.
Whereas a kid, if all of his friends at school care about Power Rangers and Pokemon, he's not going to get those same type of alerts.
Right.
It's
Sorry, I just giving you the heads up. You realize that it's just you and me versus the other team, right?
Oh, wow. Well, kick ass.
Sort of explains
guess
why
we
we're
probably
getting
gotta
our
stick
butts
together.
kicked. There was 3 of us, but yeah, now it's just the 2 of us versus 3 people on the other side.
Awesome. I'm going to throw this thermal imploder over here.
3
so
peeps
watch
on
out.
the other side.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
That's
you got smoked. You got snoked.
That's the thing, too. When they can all set up like that and they know that there's just 2 of us, it's not very hard for them to do that and then snipe you. It's frustrating, but
I'm just
it
going
is
to
what it
set
is,
up
I
my
guess.
blaster cannon because I don't want it, so I never use it. I'm coming to help. Oh, you got killed until you died from it. You threw a thermal.
That's bullshit.
Or a thermal imploder in it. Did
You
you
see
kill
the
anybody?
guy in the blast, but clearly, yeah, and you could clearly see the guy was in the.
Oh!
Yeah.
Okay, so it ended, and like right as I must have gotten shot right at the same time. So I landed on the wing of a TIE fighter as if my character had come down and caught their chin on the TIE fighter and gotten killed by the impact. Ouch.
Excellent.
All right, let's do one. I'm looking at the time. Let's do one more round. We can still fit that definitely within the time that this hopefully won't crap out, and then we'll call it a day for real. Because I'm amused, and I'm sitting here like, somebody need me for something. Like, I keep checking my email. Nothing. I keep checking the classes. Nothing. And I think a lot of graduation practices are going on today, and most of the folks who. I mean, we got a handful that are still continuing, but a lot of them who are still continuing are getting to continue into the summer. So they're kind of like, right now, let me focus on my other finals, which is fine. But it makes for kind of a dull day if you're the online teacher just kind of sitting there staring at the screen going, somebody need me, please. I want to feel useful. All right, back to Battlefront.
What the hell?
What?
Yeah, this is doing the same thing to me, talking about those HUT contracts. I'm still at kill 15 enemies with any targeting rifle. I'm still at 3.
Wow. Yeah, it keeps doing that. It kept doing it. Now, which contract are you doing? What's it called? Targeting Trooper?
The Rebly.
Oh no, that's okay. Contract Killer. Yeah, I'll join later. Yeah, see, mine finally did catch up on that one. I don't think I had any issues with that one not connecting before, but like I've already got. I'm trying to look here. Yeah, like my Rhodian blaster says that I've only gotten 13 out of the 30 kills with pistols on blast, but I've already got the Rhodian blaster. My slug thrower, and I'm working on slug thrower 2, tells me I need to use 3 more focus fire charges, right? I mean, they're just not keeping track like it's supposed to. Excuse me.
Right.
Let's see. So, let's
watch my back.
I want to join. Okay, there we go. I was like, where on the menu can I join? So I got to go back a menu.
Really?
Let's see.
I just got sniped going to the pod.
Ouch. XZ Pezzer, or however you're supposed to say it, says, I think Rey is a descendant of Palpatine. I doubt it, but it'd be interesting because that would suggest that would open the door to, okay, well, she's a descendant of Palpatine. Who did Palpatine have kids with? And we have like a Lord Nyax kind of situation again. Matthew says, I really like a Battlefront map on Dagobah. I agree, that would be actually pretty cool. It'd be nice to have that as a new planet. And then XC then says, do you think Episode 8 will copy the Empire Strikes Back? Now I'm assuming by copies mean have the similar story beats, so similar like The Force Awakens did with A New Hope. I doubt it because J.J. Abrams said specifically in a couple of interviews that when it comes to The Force Awakens and why the story beats in many cases are so similar to A New Hope, is that it was intentionally done that way because you wanted to get back to sort of the feel of what is Star Wars, that those tropes are things that are definitively Star Wars. So they went with that as sort of like the structure, and then you hang the rest of the story on it. And a lot of the things about the film are very different from A New Hope. But there are story beats that are similar enough that people are like, oh, it's just a carbon copy. It's not a carbon copy or it'd be identical. But there are similar beats, and that was intentional. Now that they've done that, they don't really need to do that for Empire, or for Episode 8 with Empire. They might.
Yeah, the more you try to explore that honestly, the more that you'll realize you're like, well, it's actually not so much like that. It's kind of more like Return of the Jedi. And then you're like, well, it's kind of actually more like for the Phantom Menace. And then you realize it's really just kind of more like Star Wars. You know? It's the thing that,
well, it's the thing that Lucas talks about, you know, like if the storytelling is more like, you know, music, you have your refrains, your choruses, your verses, and there are subtle variations on a theme that make the film, or that make the films feel like a series. Getting killed until I die from it. And again, oh wait, we should have an advantage now though, because apparently there's only 3-2. There's only 2 on their team. So if you die, it's because you suck.
Oh, well, then at least we know why.
Oh shoot, I just used my scattergun. I was trying to use my other gun and save my scattergun to use when it was appropriate, and no, oh, and he killed me from far, far away.
Damn it. I do not understand why. I'm like, because I'm seeing them. I'm seeing them like actually recoil back from taking shots from me. I'm hitting one that's a heavy blaster, and they're not going down.
Damage isn't being done.
Yet I'll be hit by like a blaster pistol, and I'm dead within 2 shots. I mean, just like less than a second, I'm dead. And I'm just, how the hell does that work?
Okay, well, I just smoked one of them. I just smoked him. Whoa! Okay, I just jumped backwards and went way further back than I expected to go. I want to find that at some point you're actually able to get the little flying creatures to be on your side. That they come to your aid.
Yeah.
Like an Ewok ability where you call upon nature.
And right, we're gonna have to actually like try to get these. God dang it! How is this guy? He's hitting me with that freaking ion rifle or whatever the hell that thing is. one shot killing me, just throwing it up, and I'm like, what the hell?
I don't
It's
know.
really frustrating.
Okay, I see the one guy. I see the other guy. Oh, that's you. Never mind. Yeah! Suck it! XZ says, I think Luke will die in either 8 or 9. I would not be surprised by that. If it's meant to be a handing off, a passing of a torch.
Stupid.
So you're
I don't
thinking
think he needs to die in either one.
you're waiting for 9?
But-
Oh, you don't think he should die in either. Okay.
No. The person I'd be the angriest about them killing, surprisingly, is Leia.
Really?
Because I don't think that... Because Han died, I feel like that her death would
Cheapen
minimize...
his somehow?
Exactly. And Luke's, I don't feel like it would do that just because of the connection. But, like, between Kylo and Han, you know, that relationship there, if it's like, oh, well, now I lost my mom. Well, I mean, we've already been informed by The Force Awakens that there was a special bond between Han and Ben. Granted, a lot of people misunderstood that and are like, oh, well, you know, like this is the biggest misconception about The Force Awakens, I feel like. A lot of people say, oh, well, you know, he only went because Leia told him to. No, bullshit. Leia sort of...
she reminded him.
She sort of gave him hope.
Yeah.
You know, that
A new
his whole
hope,
thing was
perhaps.
he felt like a failure. He felt like the failure. She's the one who says, well, you know, Luke's just a Jedi. You're his father. She's basically saying, you know, you mean something to him. You can turn him. And
I would talk to our son Han, but he wouldn't recognize my voice after all those years of drugs.
Yeah.
You're
But the thing is that because even the things that they say about, like, for instance, he goes, oh, he means nothing to me. You know, like when he's like, well, we'll see. Why would he need to say that if he's like, whatever? You know what I mean? Like, if he's like, yeah, I know he hates his dad, but we'll see if he actually has the balls to kill him. Clearly, we've seen that he'll kill people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So if he truly meant nothing to him, it wouldn't be any sort of a challenge for him, or it wouldn't be something that Snoke would have to be concerned about.
Yeah.
Because Snoke is concerned, that clearly shows that he had some sort of a relationship with Han. You know, or a very tight bond.
The fact that, you know, he's being torn apart because he's connected to the light and the dark. He wants to be free of this pain, and Han thinks it means, you know, take me home. You know, I want to come back to the light. When really what it is please help me by letting me kill you, essentially.
Well,
or at least that's one way that he could be freed. He could be freed that way. He could be freed by going back, and he chooses the one that's, you know, killing his own father. But if there was not a bond between them, that wouldn't have made a difference.
See, I don't think that, because saying, in fact, I disagree that that when he says, you know, will you help me and all of that, I disagree that was him saying, will you kill yourself, or you know, I need you to die in order to do that, because that would mean that he's on the dark side at that point. I believe in that moment, based off of what we're seeing, of the whole, you know, the sun, you actually see light, and you see that the light is actually beaming down directly on Han, and then he essentially moves in, putting the light on both him and Ben. That in that instance, Ben is sort of on the light side. I don't think it's a trick. I think he is on the light side. But once it goes dark, he recants.
I feel like, oh, kaboom! Oh. Whoa, dude, you're like surfing on air because of this bad connection. Like, I couldn't even see your legs moving, but boy, you were zipping along. I'm going to trade that blaster cannon immediately for something that doesn't suck. Ooh, thermal imploder.
Rebel scum are about to claim the pod. They
My favorite. Ah! Except I don't think there's anybody up there left anymore to die. Boom.
What is the? Do we even have a chat anymore? What are they thinking about? The
Matthew says, please don't kill Luke off, and that's it so far. Since the last thing that I read off.
I'm with you. I don't think that Luke needs to die in order to have stories move on. I think that he could potentially, because if you kill Luke, then essentially what you're saying is now Rey has to rebuild the Jedi Order. I would like to see Luke build the Jedi Order and Rey continue the Star Wars stories,
fight,
if that makes sense. Right.
Got another one
let
from
him go be a teacher. And, let him be Yoda. Let her be Anakin and Obi-Wan or whatever. If we're talking like prequels, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So last, I'll kind of check my. I'm gonna jump myself at least out, if not us out, since we're wrapping up here. XE also says Phasma should have fought Finn, not that random stormtrooper. I would agree, although in context,
nope.
That actually works. One, because it means that Phasma wasn't the one who had to die, even though she didn't really do anything. But two, again, going back to the whole it's all canon thing, they actually created a solid relationship between Finn and not only the trooper who dies on Jakku at the beginning that does the whole blood on his mask thing, but also the guy with the riot trooper gear or whatever it was. So when he says traitor, there's actually an emotional impact to it if you've read Before the Awakening, if you're aware of the background of Finn prior to. Now, granted, again, that falls under the I shouldn't have to read a book to get the impact out of the movie, but that's, while I would say that's the same thing, you don't need to necessarily read it to get an impact out of the scene, but it adds a layer of understanding, a layer of interest to the scene, very much like Tales from the Mos Eisley Cantina did for the Cantina scene in A New Hope and such. All right, so
I'll do one better though.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll do a better one as to why. Here's why it's actually from a storytelling point for The Force Awakens, without anything else, why it's important that guy fought with Finn as opposed to Captain Phasma. Because that shows you that stormtroopers have this hand-to-hand type combat.
True.
That they're trained in that. Had it been Phasma, everyone would have went, oh, okay, well, I guess she's special, so that's why she does it or whatever. But with Finn, you'd be like, okay, because people are still saying, they're like, well, how does Finn know how to use a lightsaber? Well, clearly,
look at the training that the Riot guy had. Yeah.
Right. We saw that, okay, this Riot guy, he had that. It's, obviously Finn would have been trained the same way. We saw them kind of square off. Boom, there you go. There's your answer. So that is the best reason why. Also, of course, like you said, because that would have killed Phasma unless he did something else, which would have, I felt like, cheapened the scene by not killing that person.
Right.
And then further, it was actually the Riot Trooper was a throwback to the Ralph McQuarrie Stormtrooper, because initially they had
with the shield and the
lightsabers,
a lightsaber, yeah,
and shields like that. Yeah. So,
right,
all very, very good reasons why that was better. I'm sorry, I'll shut up.
Good. That's right. I'm going to hit the last comments here in the chat before we go. Let's see. We have Jackson is back. Unfortunately, we are actually heading out right now. Usually when this hits about 2 hours, the stream dies. Something happens, and it screws up. So we're going to try to get out of here before that can happen. XE says, please don't go, but we gotta. And XE also says, in episode 8, will we see the Republic? We'll probably see the remnants of the Republic, but remember, the Republic capital and essentially the bulk of the leadership were wiped out when Hosnian Prime were knocked out. And they really do kind of show that as the center of all of the governing and such in Bloodline. So it sort of raises the question of what could be left of the Republic. Will the Resistance take a more active leadership role? Will we see the Resistance and the Republic essentially merged back together? Unlike what we see happening sort of in the opposite in Bloodline. We'll just have to see. All right, folks. First off, Michael, thank you for joining me. Where can people find you?
Thank you for having me. Well, once again, you can find me at Brazzers.com, or you can find us over at...
No, do not try it. He almost got me with that one. Do not try it. Damn.
Oh, but yeah, I'm over at Morris Isley on Twitter, or usually I'm the one who's on the Cloud City Casino on Twitter page. But of course we have that. We have the Cloud City Casino Facebook page, but you handle that one more than I do, honestly. And let's see what else we do on Star Wars Report. .com, and I think that's everything. Oh yeah, we got the email. Send us an email. We read that stuff when we get the episodes actually out. It's just cloudcitycasino@gmail.com. I think that's everything.
Cool.
Did I mention browsers?
Oh God! So for me, you can find my Star Wars Timeline Gold, the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere at StarWarsFanWorks.com/timeline. You can find Cloud City Casino and Star Wars Beyond the Films, the two podcasts that I'm involved with. Of course, Cloud City Casino here with Michael on StarWarsReport.com. Of course, things are dinging for a meeting that got canceled for me. Then, of course, we have the YouTube channel here, which is where you'll find my vlog. You'll find from the Star Wars Home Video Library and so forth. And I think that's about it to hit at this point in time. So probably be back with another stream. Not sure when. Definitely will not be tomorrow because wife's day off and just a lot of meetings and stuff going on for me and appointments for her. So it's just going to be kind of a mess to try to do something then. Maybe Thursday, maybe Friday. It just kind of depends on what's going on either of those days, but I'm going to try to get at least one more stream in this week. We'll be doing those live stream Let's Plays of Uncharted 1 through 4 at some point in the near future, but probably not for a little bit because I do want to finish, I do want to replay Golden Abyss prior to that. And, so just kind of keep an eye on it. And if you have a way, without buying specialized equipment, that just with an Xbox One and Kinect, you could actually stream off the Xbox One, I would love to do streaming of Force Unleashed 1 and 2. Let me know how that would work, and I'll actually go buy a Kinect in order to do that. But so far, haven't found a way to natively stream to YouTube from that, and I'm not going to be doing it on Twitch because I want to make sure it's here on the channel. With that, we'll be out of here. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you on a future stream. Again, thanks, Michael.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.